morning Year 4, and this is your maths video for if you've got this book on Tuesday the 23rd of February. I'm going to start by saying a very big well done to Jack for a great effort whilst he was learning at home. Please keep it up. And you'll notice that yesterday we started looking at shapes. And today we're going to carry on with our shape learning. So to get us thinking about shapes and the names of different shapes, I've got my shape word mat. You can see that it's got all the pictures of the shapes on there, but none of the words. So we're going to work together to figure out and remember the names of these different shapes. Okay, so we'll start with a shape that's got a curved side, so this one. Who can remember what the name of this shape is? I'll give you a clue. It begins with a S sound. Can you remember? Okay, let's have a look. Circle. Circle, brilliant, well done if you got that at home. And then I'm going to move to my next shape that's again got a round side. This one here, and I describe this as a little bit like a squished or a stretched circle. Can you remember the name of this one? Let's see, you got it right. An oval, brilliant. Now there isn't a two-sided shape, so the next shape's a three-sided shape, and that's this one here. What do we call a three-sided shape? Fantastic, it's a triangle. And then we've got a few different four-sided shapes on here. So let's start with this one. That's got two long sides as well as short sides, which makes it a rectangle. Then we've got this shape here where all of the sides are equal, which means the same. And that one's a square. Okay, and this one's really tricky. So it doesn't matter if you can't remember the name of this one. All of the sides are the same length. Looks a little bit like a diamond, but its proper name is a rhombus. Can anybody spot another four-sided shape? Okay, I've spotted one here. And what's the name of this shape? Okay, so that one's the kite. Well done. A five-sided shape then, and I think we had to look at these yesterday. What do we call a five-sided shape? It begins with a pentagon, brilliant. Then a six-sided shape. Can anybody remember a six-sided shape? A hexagon. A seven-sided shape. I really would be blown away if we can remember the name of this one. A heptagon. And then finally our eight-sided shape. Now I remember this one thinking of octopus because they've got 8 tentacles. So an eight-sided shape is called an octagon. Okay, so let's quickly play a game to get us thinking about these shapes, and I think we'll go for level 2. I definitely think we're ready for level 2. So we've got to sort these shapes dependent on their colour, so blue or not blue, and if it's a pentagon, which is five-sided, or not a pentagon. Okay, so here I've got a shape that's got 5 sides. What do we call a five-sided shape? A pentagon. And is it blue or not blue? It's not blue, is it? It's pink. Next shape then. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides, Year 4. Is an 8-sided shape a pentagon or not a pentagon? It's not a pentagon. And is it blue? No, it's not blue. So not a pentagon and not blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sides, guys. What would we call a 6-sided shape? Is that a pentagon? No, not a pentagon. And is it blue? No. can join our green shape. Okay, so here we've now got a 5-sided shape. What do we call a 5-sided shape? Okay, so we do call that one a pentagon, but is it blue? No, not blue. It's going to come down here then. Okay, now this one's a bit tricky because they've rotated our shape. It's on a bit of a slant. So it's got 4 sides. It's got 2 sides that are long and 2 sides that are short. If it's only got 4 sides, is it a pentagon? No, so it's not a pentagon, but it is blue. Now this one's got 6 sides, so it's not a pentagon, but it is blue. We'll do 2 more, I think. So this one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 sides. Is an 8-sided shape a pentagon? No, it's not. And is it blue? No. Last one then. So we've got 5 sides and it's yellow. Where would it go? 5 sides, which makes it a pentagon, but it's not blue, so it would go there. Okay, don't worry, I will send this link out for you so that you can play along at home as well. And this takes us to our first question, which is a little bit of a recap of our learning from yesterday. So it says, draw a polygon that has more sides than a triangle, but less sides than a pentagon. And I've picked out a tricky word here, and the tricky word is polygon. Say that for me, polygon. And a polygon just means a shape. Okay, it's just a fancy word. So we've got to draw a polygon that has more sides than a triangle, and a triangle's got 3 sides, hasn't it? So we've got to have more than 3. But less sides than a pentagon, and a pentagon's got 5. So, how many sides can my polygon have here for? Okay, so it's got to have 4 sides, and now you're going to have a go at drawing a 4-sided shape. Now, when you're drawing at home, you'll use a ruler with your pencil, but I can draw straight lines on my board. So I'm going to have a go at drawing a 4-sided shape. There we go. And my 4-sided shape, because all of those lines are the same length, is called a square. So if we now turn to your booklet, year 4, you're working on page 29, so we'll pop that under the visualiser. Okay, so 29. And it's asking you to draw a polygon, so draw a shape with more sides than a square, but fewer sides than a hexagon. So look at those shapes. So we've got a square and a hexagon. How many sides does a square have year 4? Okay, so a square's got 4 sides. And a hexagon. How many sides does a hexagon have? That's it. So it's got a 6, hasn't it? So you've got to draw a shape that's got between 4 and 6 sides. So how many sides can my shape have? Can only have 5. So you've got to draw me a 5-sided shape. And then write the name of that shape in this box. Okay, I'll give you a clue. It begins with a P sound. When you've done that, we're going to go back to our interactive whiteboard so that we can have a look at some brand new learning for today. Okay then guys, so once you've done question 1, you want to start the video now. And we're looking today at symmetry and identifying lines of symmetry in polygons. And remember, polygons are just shapes. Now, symmetry means that it's exactly the same on both sides. So if we have a look here, I've got some the black squares, aren't they, that make a bit of a pattern. And I'm now going to copy the pattern onto this side so that it's exactly the same. So I've got black, white, white. So this side I'm going to go white, white, black. Okay. Then we've got white, black, white, white, black, white. And you see how it's a copy. It's like a mirror image of it, isn't it? So then we've got white, black, black. So it's going to go black, black, white, black, black, white, white, black, black. And then a final one here. Okay, so you can see that I've copied that pattern onto this side. These are symmetrical. They're exactly the same on both sides. So now I want you to see if you can figure out which squares I would need to colour in for this one to be symmetrical. I want you to pause the video and see if you can figure out where I would colour in. Okay, so now you've had a chance to have a little think, I'm going to show you. Okay, there we go. Well done if you were able to identify that those were the ones that we needed. Okay, so now that we know that symmetry is where it's exactly the same on both sides, we've got to have a go at drawing some lines of symmetry in these shapes. So that means that where I put the line, both sides of the shape are going to be exactly the same. So if I look at this shape, or circle, and I drew a line of symmetry here, is this side and this side exactly the same? Have a look. Does it look exactly the same? This side of the black line and then this side. It doesn't, does it? So that's not a line of symmetry. When we do lines of symmetry, both sides have got to be exactly the same. So I've drawn that line right down the middle. Okay? But they don't have to just go down. We could go across. On a square, I can also have a line of symmetry that goes across my shape. Straight across my shape. Now for this one, can I go across? I can't, can I? So I must have to work down. And then finally, let's draw another line in this shape, making sure that both sides are exactly the same. So if we now go back to your booklet, year 4, that's what question number 2 is asking you to do. Draw one line of symmetry on each of these shapes. So just like I did, I found the middle and I drew my line. Okay. And then your final question is thinking about if those lines are perfect. if they are symmetrical. So if my line of symmetry was here, is that symmetrical? Yes or no? No, it's not, is it? What about if this line was here? Is that symmetrical? No. So you've got to then look at these shapes at the bottom. They're all triangles because they've got 3 sides. And think, are both sides exactly the same? Is it exactly the same both sides? If it is, put a big tick in that box. Are both sides exactly the same on this one? What about this one? Okay, and you've got 4 to do like that. But you know I like to set you one extra challenge. And my challenge today says how many lines of symmetry are there in a rectangle? Now you've all just done one in your booklet, but I think there are a few more. So how many lines of symmetry can you find in a rectangle where both sides would be exactly the same? And just to finish with then year 4, let's roll our dice and have a little think about today's learning. Let's see what number we will land on. Number 5. Is there anything that you would do differently if you were to do this lesson again? Would you use a ruler when drawing your lines of symmetry? Or would you make sure that your lines are exactly in the middle? Don't forget to take a picture and send it to the Year 4 email address.